Bisque, what are they doing? Biscuit. I was literally sitting here listening to TV Off by Kendrick Lamar, and somebody just came and measured from our balcony, and he just walked. Buddy, Bisque, is he gone? Yeah, oh, there he is. I don't know what he's doing. Bisque, you're the man of the house. Ori. Oreo. Ori. Bisque, is he gone? Biscuit. Bisque. Is he gone? I don't know it. We got mulch in the grass. We got rocks. What are they measuring for? Biscuit. Go see, Bisque. You're the man of the house. Go ahead. If y'all wonder what's going on, drinking a cappuccino. I don't think it's a true cappuccino. It's basically hot milk with chia seeds. Because I didn't even put a full scoop chia seeds. I got these. These are my, well, these are just regular chia seeds. But it's, this is my 1.4 ounce. But I also have a 2 or 4 pound. Hold on. £2. I know you're like, why do you got 2 chia seeds open? Because look, this is how my life works. I bought these from Amazon. You know what? Them were not the first ones I bought. Sorry, that's the second ones. This was the first one that I bought. And I bought these in 2024. So in 24, it's 26 right now. So I bought these in 2024 when I lived not in the apartment that we moved from, but the one before that one. I'm still in the same neighborhood, just not the same apartment. Technically, I have lived in 4 apartments in this apartment complex. Because I moved to this apartment complex 2008. Nope. I moved over here 2003. I moved over here 2003. It might have been closer to 2004. Hold on, let me see. Because I remember I had my 21st birthday here. I moved over here when I was 20. That would have, if I was 20, that would have been in, 03. Or end of 03. Beginning of 04 is when I moved out here. So 2004. And then, so okay, I moved out here in '04, and I only moved over here because I wanted, okay, so it was a girl that I went to school with, and she had an apartment out here, and I was like, I want to be closer to my friend. And so I moved out here. Like, we lived like down the street from each other. And then she moved, but I stayed out here. But it was my fault. And like, we stopped being friends in the midst of that. And it was totally my fault. It was like me being stupid. Like, I'll tell y'all, like, I'm not ashamed of it, but I am ashamed of it. But it's not like, oh, I'm not gonna tell y'all because I'm ashamed. Like, okay, so so in '03, yeah. And so in 2003, see, like, okay, so let me go all the way back, yeah, to 2003. Yeah, because I was living out at the other place with my ex-boyfriend. And oddly enough, how did I get back in touch with? I got back somehow. I got back in touch with Raven. Not her real name. So when I say nicknames, like, I might say names that sound like names, but I'm using the nicknames of the people. So somehow I got back in touch with Raven, and that was like in '03. Like, me and Ray met the second day of 6th grade of middle school. And the girl that we met through, I met, what can I call her? I'm gonna call her Catherine. Me and Catherine met the first day of 6th grade. The second day of 6th grade is when I met Raven. And that was 96. Okay, sorry. Hopefully they didn't cut out too much. I'll say that again because I was getting a phone call. Okay, so I met Catherine the first day of 6th grade. I met Raven the second day of 6th grade. And that's 1996. Going into 97. So that's how me and Ray knew each other. And then in 9th grade, me and Ray, we went to the same high school. But me and Catherine did not. She went to a different high school. Because she lived in this area. Like where I'm at right now, she lived in this area until she was like basically down the street from where I'm at right now. And that's where she lived, in her mom and dad's house. Well, she didn't live in the project. She lived in the house part. And then Ray lived off Clinton Highway. I lived, I was on Pascal at that time in Lonsdale. So yeah. And so me and Ray, we were both zoned for the same high school. And Catherine was not. She was zoned for another high school that's literally down the street. So, of course, we wouldn't have went to that same high school. So like I said, me and Ray, we knew each other. I even dressed up as her in 2000 for Halloween. And it was funny because she was the crow and I dressed up as her as the crow for Halloween of 2000. I was in state custody by that time, 11th grade. And then after I moved group homes is when I lost contact with Ray. So that would have been December of 2000. Yeah. Because I moved group homes December the 4th, 2000. So the last time I seen her before that was the weekend after. Like, it was like that Friday. Because, like, that year, I remember my 17th birthday was Wednesday, November the 29th. I remember it was a Wednesday because I didn't really celebrate because it was another girl in the group home. It was her 13th birthday. So we had the same birthday. It's just she was turning 13 and I was turning 17. And she wanted to have a sleepover. So I was like, I want to have a sleepover. Well, y'all know about them people. And I really try not to hate people. But really, Ice? You just going to drop? Did you hear that, Ori? Ori's like, don't put me in it. But anyways, you know how I felt about them people. I said in multiple different videos how I felt about them people. But anyway, so I went to school, of course, that Friday. And that's the last time that I seen Ray. And then the girl that was in that group home with me, she had a saloon party. I got to invite one of my friends. And then I remember I didn't get to take one of my friends to, but anyways, not to say all that. So somehow I got back in touch with Ray. And I don't know how I got back in touch with her, but then she was like, oh, well, let me come over to your house. And I was like, yeah, come on, I miss you, you know. So she came over to my house, and like at that time I was living with my ex-boyfriend. And like I had an apartment before I met him. Like he had an apartment and I had an apartment. And then I moved out of my apartment and he moved out of his and we moved in together. But so she came over to our apartment and she brought Zane. And that's the very first time that I met Zane was in, I think it was like July. It might have been June. I remember it was hot. And I thought Zane didn't like me. I really did. Because when I met her, I was like, oh my gosh, she doesn't like, because she was like I said, it was hot. So she was hot. You know, her and Ray was hot. And she just looked at miserable. And literally after she left, I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, Ray, does Zane not like me? And she was like, no, she thought that you was cool. Like, yeah, she likes you. Like, if Lady Simwolf, if you want to ask her the story about, like, when, like, if y'all ask her, be like, okay, Zane, like, you can call her Zane. She'll know who I'm talking about. She'll know who you're talking about if you say Zane. Anyways, and be like, Zane, how was it when you very first met Marky? Because I'm Marky. And so, like, she'll tell you. But anyway, so, So that's the very first time I met Zane. And then we hung out, and at that time, I think Ray, I don't know how she got back in touch with Candy Cane, but somehow she got back in touch with Candy Cane, which I'm so glad, because me, Ray, and Candy Cane, we went to middle school together. And of course, Catherine. So all four of us went to middle school together. And then when high school, me and Ray, we went to the same high school. And then Catherine and Candy Cane went to the same high school. And so that's why I'm like, I don't understand. I mean, I don't know how I got back in touch with Raven, and she already was back in contact with Candy Cane, and then that's how I got back in touch with Candy Cane. Was so happy. Candy Cane lived out here where I'm at, and so I moved out here because of Candy Cane. So at that time, Candy Cane was dating Superman, and they had an apartment, and so us knowing, so every Saturday, every Friday night and Saturday, I guess it was Friday into Saturday and then Saturday into Sunday, every weekend. Okay, I'm gonna do it by couples. So okay, I'm gonna start with them. So Zane and Gofert was together. Candy Cane and Superman was together. I had a boyfriend, but he never did go to karaoke with us. And then Ray, at that time, she was single, then she had a boyfriend, then she was single again. But anyways, she's married now. So her husband wasn't, she didn't know him, or she knew him, they weren't dating at this time when we were 18 and 19. And Ray's older. Out of the group, I love me, Ray, Candy Cane, and Zane. I'll throw Catherine in there too, even though she didn't go karaoke with us. How it goes age-wise, Ray's birthday is in July. Catherine's birthday is in August. Candy Cane's birthday is in October, or it was. She is no longer with us. Her birthday was in October. And then I'm November. And so we're all 83. And then Gofert and Zane, I was about to call her Jordan for some reason. Zane and Gofert's birthday. Ooh. Hold on now. Zane's birthday is coming up, because this is March. And Gofert's birthday is this month. Gofert's birthday is also this month in March. But both of them, they were born in 83. In 84. So they are our age. They're just a couple of months behind us. But yeah, so If y'all know Lady Sim Wolf, crap, I don't remember what Pacific day her birthday is, but y'all go over and wish her a birthday, happy birthday. It's March the something. But yeah, so her birthday's coming up. My good sis. So every weekend we went to karaoke. And then in the midst of us doing that, and then me moving out here in this area, and I always wanted a baby. Ever since I was 18, I have wanted a baby. I have wanted to be pregnant, and mentally, I went through some stuff with that. And every month that I wasn't pregnant, it mentally did something to me. So Candy Cane tells me that Zane and Gopher is pregnant. And I'm like, no, she's not. And she's like, yes, she is. I'm like, no, she's not. And she was like, yeah, she is. And I'm like, whatever. Y'all are just big liars. And so me and Candy Cane got into it. And I was like, whatever, y'all are liars. Y'all know I want a baby, and y'all sit here and like playing in my face. Basically, I'm the problem. It's me. It was my fault. I went totally off. And so Candy Cane is like, if you're gonna be a bitch about it, I don't think we should be friends. And I'm like, well, we're not gonna be friends anymore. And me and Zane, we also fell out. Because I was like, you're lying, and I don't understand why you're lying. And like, I don't remember specifically everything that was said, but I know I was the cause of it. And I was like, she's not pregnant, you're lying. I don't know why you would lie to me about something like so important to me like that. And I wasn't mad. Like, it wasn't like jealousy. It was just like, I was mad if she really wasn't pregnant and she got my hopes up for no reason. That's where I was coming in at. That why would you play about something that I dearly want? And so like we stopped being friends because of that. And like I said, I'm the problem. It's me. It was my fault. 100%. I was the problem. But then when would that been? Probably so that would have had to be in 04, because my other little baby, so Face, that's what I'm gonna call her, because I call her something else, but the beginning of the nickname has like her real name in it. Face was born January, and I think it was 04 or 05. Like, I want to say 05, but Cheeks, I think, okay, so if Cheeks could have been born in 06, January of 06, but that don't sound right, because when Cheeks was born, Faith just turned 2. So, like, AKA, Zane was pregnant. Yeah, and I met Face when Face was 15 months old. So they didn't lie. But like I missed the first 15 months of Faye's life because I went off. Like I went totally left. And so, yeah, Zane was pregnant, and she was pregnant with Face. And then, like I said, we got back together. Face was 15 months when I met her. And then I didn't really get back in touch with Candy Cane until, like, when I got back in touch with Candy Cane had 2 kids. And so I missed, and like her kids are like really close, and they are close. I don't know why I said was, like they're not. Her kids are very close in age. So when I got back in touch with Candy Cane, she wasn't with Superman. She was with a totally different guy. And I got to meet her daughter and her son. And like her daughter was a baby. And then her son was like 1, going on 2. So like that's how long that we wasn't, like I missed that whole time. And it's my fault. You know, like I said, I was the problem. It's me. And then quickly after that, Zane got pregnant again with Cheeks. And so she just had Cheeks. So this was, well, not just, like Cheeks was probably like a month or something. And because I remember it was February when, like I was in Cheeks' life the whole time because I helped name Cheeks. So it wasn't like me and Zane fell out. Like, no. Once we got back friends, we have always been friends. Well, let me say on my point, I think that we're friends. Like that's my sister, love her, and life takes us in different not generations, different directions. But it, like, our going different directions wasn't because we weren't friends anymore. It was because just life happened and we went in different directions. And so when she had Cheeks, like I said, I helped name Cheeks. So that, she's my baby. And she's an adult now, and I feel old, so don't talk about it. I'm gonna cry. But yeah, so quickly after Cheeks was born, Candy Cane's, the father of her children, got killed. I only know what they told me. He got into a wreck and killed on impact, I do believe. He got killed, or he got into an accident. Let me just say, he didn't make it out of the accident. So after that is when I lost contact with Candy Cane again. And the very last time I seen Candy Cane was when she came to my house and I met her kids. And that was, I'm going to say, if I can think, because I can't remember when Cletus T. Judd was here at Tennessee Valley Fair, because Zane was pregnant with Cheeks. And that was August of, if I could think of that year, because she had cheeks that January. So it was like she was pregnant no, it was September when that was going on, because Tennessee Valley Fair comes to here in September. So this was September of whatever year Cletus T. Judd came to Knoxville. And it was like he already went through Celebrity Fit Club at that point, because me, Zane, and oh crap, what am I gonna call him? I'm gonna call him AJ, because I don't know if he goes by his middle name, but I'm gonna say AJ because his real name starts with a J, and then the name he goes by starts with an A. So I call him by the A name. His real name is J. So I'm gonna call him AJ. So it was me, Zane, and AJ. And like I said, Zane was like 6'5", like 6. She's very pregnant with cheeks. And so, like, I told this story like 100 times. And we went to the fair, and it was like $8 to get in. And so we literally only went for the concert. We didn't go to ride rides. We didn't go to walk around. We went just for the concert. We was there for Cletus. And that was when I was like, nobody can see my Cletus cleavage. And I was serious about it. Like, I have always been modest. So it was September, it's hot. So I had on a tank top, but I usually wear like a little shirt over my tank top. I couldn't find my button-up shirt, so I put a crochet blanket over my shoulders, so I could cover up my cleavage. And I called it Cletus cleavage. And literally that day, love Cletus. By the night, can't stand him. Put him down. Have not picked him back up. Personal reasons. Nothing that he didn't technically. No, okay, he never did anything to me. It wasn't like that kind of personal thing. It was, I didn't agree with what he said. And if you want to know what he said, the reason why that was literally the night that the lights went down in Georgia. No, I'm joking. Okay, sorry. That was literally the day that I was like, I'm no longer a Cletus T. Judd fan. Not even a little bit. And it came on I turned it off like a faucet of water. It was gradual. I mean, it wasn't gradual, it was instant. Boop. So, but yeah, so I don't know if he ever would remember, because like that was years ago of me literally telling him to his face, didn't know who he was. And it wasn't because I didn't know what he looked like. I knew what he looked like, but didn't know what he looked like at that point. Me, Zane, or AJ, we didn't know what he looked like in the face, because nobody knew that he was on Celebrity Fit Club, because the season haven't came on yet. But I looked at him because he was talking to somebody in the front row, like in the row in front of us. And I was saying something, and he looked up, and I was like, and you, sir, you can't see my Cletus cleavage. And he just started like chuckling a little bit. He didn't say like, bitch, yes I can, because I am Cletus. He didn't say that. But I'm saying, I said that. And then when he came out on stage and we realized that's who he was, me, Zane, and AJ, we were like, oh my gosh, you said to Cletus that he can't see your Cletus cleavage. And I did. I said it with my whole chest. I said it and did not regret it. Buddy, are they back? Buddy? Biscuit? Well, go to sleep then. He's like, my people's not back. He's going to sleep. Him's a tired boy. See, it is hard work being the man of the house. Okay, so, what was I getting at? Because I was talking about Zane and them. Oh, so I lived out here when all that was happening. Yep, I did. Because she was pregnant with Cheeks. And then I moved. So I was out here from 03 to, it might have been 04. 04 to, 2008. And then I moved. Then I moved back out here in 2021 and another apartment. Then from that apartment, I moved to the apartment I was in before this one. That one I wasn't supposed to be in because it had an upstairs. Y'all know my rant and raves about that one. And then now I'm in this apartment. Yep. So I have been out here for some years. And like I said, this is technically the 4th apartment that I have lived in out here.